Welcome everyone to the Avengenerds podcast where we talk Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and more. I'm your host Torrin, and with me is my co-host Peyton.
What's going on?
Man, I just watched Batman and Robin, bro. Dude,
did you actually watch it?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't.
I was about to say, I was like, this man really just went through it.
I can't do it.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for listening to Avengenerds podcast. We have a great show for everybody this week. Of course, we are continuing Batman month in the lead up to the Batman, which I can't believe I could say this, next week, or I guess technically this week if you're listening to this the week it came out, which is also weird to think about. But yeah, so in the lead up to the Batman, we're going to be going through all the Batman movies. We've already been through Tim Burton's Batman movies. We've been through Joel Schumacher's Batman movies. So if you haven't listened to those, go back and listen to those. Because this week, we are, of course, going through the like the thing that everyone seems to say is the best, arguably one of the best trilogies of all time, the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy.
Yay.
I think that tells you what Torrance thoughts are about these movies off the bat. But first, we got to go through the news of the week. Really slow news week this week, but that's perfectly fine because we have 3 entire movies to get through. But like most weeks, we got time codes in the description or the show notes. So go ahead and check those out if you want to skip around, if you want to just go to the Dark Knight trilogy or different pieces of news. So let's get into it. One piece of DC news: a sequel to the Batman is already in the works. Expected. And yeah. And then all we have is Marvel news all the way through. So Fred Hetchinger, who is in Fear Street and the recently released Pam and Tommy movie for Hulu, has been cast as Chameleon alongside Aaron Taylor Johnson and Russell Crowe in Kraven the Hunter. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I literally thought before this news came out, like a couple days earlier, I was like, damn, I really want them to do Chameleon in a Spider-Man movie. And now Chameleon is in Kraven the Hunter. Not ideal for me, and I still don't trust Sony, but it'll be interesting to see Chameleon done in live action.
Yeah. I can't wait to see his suit. Yeah, he has to rock a suit in there.
He could just be a shape. I mean, it's Sony. No, I don't know.
No, he has to rock a suit.
I hope so. I don't know if he's gonna be sort of an antagonist to Kraven. I guess that would make sense, but he could also be like an ally. I don't know. But next piece of Marvel news: Aaron Pierre, who was in Krypton, has been cast in Blade in an unknown role. So
yeah, I did see that.
Casting is, of course, obviously underway for Blade, which is very exciting. I think that's still eyeing a 2023 release. I could be wrong, but super exciting. Mahershala Ali is just gonna fucking murder that goddamn role. He's going to kill that role. I'm super excited for that, and the cast just is it's chugging along. So I'm super excited to see that. Next piece of Marvel news: Spider-Man No Way Home releases on digital on March 22nd and on 4K and Blu-ray on April 12th. So I think it was just last week we reported that its home release was getting delayed, and now we have official dates, and with that came some really fun photo shoots from the 3 Spider-Man actors, and of course we got the recreation of the pointing meme. Beautiful stuff.
Our childhood came to life right then and there.
For real. Oh,
cool. Seeing that meme for years and years on end, and it finally came to life. It's just so satisfying to see.
I'm not gonna lie, I made it my wallpaper. Again, this is the 3 goats all doing the meme. It's so cool. But next piece of Marvel news, and this one is very exciting, but we should temper our expectations. So the Netflix Marvel shows are confirmed to be moving to Disney Plus on March 16th in Canada.
No, to the US.
Unfortunately, that is not the case for now. It also doesn't appear we got, I forgot which country it was, but they got their March releases for Disney Plus, and the Netflix Marvel shows were not on there. So it doesn't seem, that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be on Disney Plus in other countries, but it also means that if they do release in other countries, it won't necessarily be that March 16th date. So this March 16th date is specifically for Canada. No word on the US for now, but the fact that they are more probably willing to do this in Canada is, I mean, that's it could be more likely that it's coming to Disney Plus in the US instead of Hulu. But I hope we get these shows soon. We only have like in a couple days. I think when this releases, it might be the final day to watch those shows on Netflix. It's going to be so weird going to Netflix and searching up Daredevil and nothing coming up. That's going to be so fucking weird. But
it really is.
Yeah, hopefully those come to the US sooner rather than later. Next piece of Marvel news is something that we already knew of per se, but it's nice to hear coming from the man himself. Charlie Cox confirms that he will return as Daredevil again in the MCU. He said, quote, "I know something. I don't know much, but I know there will be something else." So that's lovely to hear from my guy Charlie Cox over there, the GOAT, peak fiction incarnate. I still think he's blind. He still looks blind to me. But yeah, getting more Daredevil. Likely, I mean, I think the most likely thing we'll see him in most recently is She-Hulk. As you know, the lawyer thing going on. But other than that, I don't know what else she could be, or he could be in She-Hulk other than lawyery stuff. I don't see him suiting up in She-Hulk. But I don't know, maybe they'll surprise me. I just don't know what the context of that would be. But most likely where we'd see him just fully Daredevil out is the Echo series, which I don't know if that even has a release date yet. Hopefully next year, because I need more Daredevil content. I need more peak fiction in my life. I don't know about you.
And I'm gonna just go Charlie Cox's house and ask him myself.
I love that video of him just sitting in the chair and putting on the Daredevil mask and sitting on a mug. It's so good. But I
know, right?
Yeah, that is the news of the week. That's it. I told you this is a real slow news week, but again, that is all right because we got a lot of movies to get through. Let's start off with the first in the Dark Knight trilogy, of course, Batman Begins.
Batman Begins. Underrated.
Massively underrated. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a bit, but like, yeah, Batman Begins. I wonder why, because in the beginning of the movie, it shows like the Dark Knight sort of bat logo with it, but it's like a silhouette of bats. So I wonder why they didn't go with that logo for the suit rather than the more round logo they went with in Batman Begins, and then they changed it to the more pointy logo in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Because like, I don't know. I guess maybe they wanted that. Well, no. I was going to say that maybe they wanted that for the Batarangs, but they literally showed it in the silhouette. I don't know. Which logo do you prefer? Do you like the Dark Knight logo or do you like the Batman Begins logo?
Actually, I did not know they even changed logos.
Yeah, they changed. They had it was like it looked more like a classic Batman symbol on the suit in Batman Begins.
Let me see this. I'll have to say the Dark Knight just because that's the one I'm like more used to. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Now I remember now. Yeah, I'm about to go. Yeah, I'm about to go with the Dark Knight. Fair enough.
I like how in the beginning of the movie, Bruce already starts off a badass fighting those guys, and the guards like start taking him away, and they were like, "The fuck you pulling me off for?" He was like, "Protection." He was like, "I don't need protection." He goes, "Protection for them." He was like, "Oh, fair enough."
Built different for real.
Yeah, so like Bruce gets thrown in this prison or whatever, and of course then we get our introduction to Ra's al Ghul, or is it Ra's al Ghul? I'll never know. I'm gonna say Ra's al Ghul though.
I'm gonna just say Ra's al Ghul as well.
Ra's al Ghul. I can't tell if I love or hate Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul. Like, obviously, Liam Neeson is cool as shit, right? But he's also white as shit. It's like, it's not a huge negative, but like, you know, Ra's should maybe not be white. He has a sick beard though.
I'll talk about that the castings in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go into it too a little bit more when we get to a different section of the movie. But yeah, so Bruce goes to train for Ra's, but not Ra's, because Liam Neeson is real Ra's, but is acting like it's not Ra's, and there's a fake Ra's, and it's the Ra's that you'd assume it is racially, which I'm now realizing they did the same thing in Doctor Strange. Like, they did that exactly in Doctor Strange. They're like, you assume, or really, I guess it's a little different, because in Begins, they kind of play it on the audience, whereas in Doctor Strange they play it on just Strange, because Strange sucks. So it's like, I understand what they're going for by like the don't judge a book by its cover sort of thing, but I don't think it really works here all that much. It probably works better in Doctor Strange because it's Steven's ignorance and not the audience's ignorance, but it is what it is. But there's the flashback of Bruce's parents getting killed, of course, because we need to see that again. It's like, I'm going to give this one a little slack because it's technically the second time we've seen the origin, although they do a flashback in Batman Forever, so it's technically the third. Yeah. Of course, we got to have Batman's origin. I think Pattinson's Batman is going to be the only Batman movie, or the only new universe Batman movie where we don't see an origin story. I think we'll obviously get references to it, but yeah, it's not something we need to see. It's not something we need to see again.
But I mean, I have a feeling. I mean, I know it's gonna happen. If we don't see it, people will be like, "Where do we see it?" Like, shut up.
It's integral to the character. We need to see. We need to see it.
Yeah, we want to see his. We want to see his mom and pops get clapped again. Like, shut up. Don't do this shit. You already did this shit with Spider-Man. Let's not do it fucking for Batman.
For real. I love Commissioner, or not Commissioner yet. I love Gordon wrapping the jacket around young Bruce.
Yeah, young Bruce.
And fucking got it, Gary Oldman. What a fantastic Commissioner Gordon. We still have yet to see Jeffrey Wright, and we haven't seen enough of J.K. Simmons. But as of right now, Gary Oldman is by far the best Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
He's so good. Although I do remember him getting some flack for not being sort of a big boy. He's a skinny boy. But,
yeah.
I mean, he's been skinny in the comics, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's a very good Commissioner Gordon. And while we're here, let's talk about Michael Caine as Alfred. I love Michael Caine as Alfred. But what I don't like about this iteration is that, and this is a nitpick. This is a nitpick. This is not a real criticism, but admittedly, it's annoyed me for a while. He doesn't feel as he doesn't feel as sort of like a father figure to Bruce, where I feel like he should be. Like, he's still his butler, obviously, he gets paid and shit, but like, he raised the dude, you know what I mean? He raised him. And he doesn't really feel like that in this one. He just feels like a butler. And he also always calls him Master Wayne instead of Master Bruce, which I also find a little strange. It just feels a little less personal. But yeah, it's a little bit of a nitpick. It is just always something that was like, bothered me.
Master Wayne, I will quiet perks.
But yeah,
I look at Michael Caine differently now after watching Kingsman.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
how could he?
I know. And Mark Hamill?
Oh yes, and Mark Hamill, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was sad. Although I love seeing Mark Hamill in something that wasn't Star Wars.
Anything.
Yeah. It's Mark Hamill, the god.
Yeah. And then look what happened to him.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker again.
That's true.
Young Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
But I love the sequence where the man who murdered Bruce, Joe Chill. I remember I love the sequence when Joe Chill gets put on trial and Bruce like fully intends to kill him, and the only reason he didn't is because Falcone got to him first. Like I really like that because like it helps strengthen his character by showing that killing won't make anything better without making him break that one rule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and then
also
yeah, go on.
It also reminds me of like Batman's quote where like if you were to like kill a murderer, like the same amount of murderers in the world like will still exist because you just became a murderer.
Yes, love that. But and after that, Bruce goes to confront Falcone, and Bruce has some major balls, just confronting Falcone like that. But I love in that same sequence, he like pulls a gun on Bruce. It's an unloaded gun, but a gun to scare him. And he talks about how like there's officials and cops in that room, and he won't hesitate to blow his head off because he has power. And he talks about fear. And I love how even before Scarecrow is introduced, the idea of fear is already being thrown around right in the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he leaves, and then he gives this homeless guy his jacket, which comes back later. But then we go back to the present, and the film beautifully displays Bruce not breaking his one rule after fighting the fear toxin and beating the fake Roz, and then setting the place ablaze, and then still saving the real Roz.
Love to see it.
Love to see it indeed. And then, of course...
You want what we call that? Character development.
True. Indeed. Character development. And, you know, these movies have gotten, you know, some criticism of like... Or not some criticism, more like retroactive sort of people pointing things out. But like, people have pointed out that Christian Bale's Batman does kill. And it's like... That's true, but a lot of it is also like either unintentional or like technically not by his hand. I'm going to get to that a little bit at the end of this one, but at least they make an effort. You know, he's like don't kill, and he like at least tries. You know what I mean? But
yeah. Then
we go to the present day, and we get a fun little Zaz cameo with Crane's introduction, and Cillian Murphy is just fucking he's so good.
Oh, good.
But I also love how the Batcave Bruce comes back, and the Batcave is literally just farther down the well Bruce fell down in the beginning of the movie. It's probably a little convenient, but it still works.
I want a fucking Batcave. I want to fall down the well, have bats around me.
Bro, apparently bats smell like shit. So like all those bats fucking flying around smell like ass.
Yeah, that's already traumatic enough.
But this trilogy, I think, is the only one so far to demonstrate the playboy aspect of Bruce's persona. Like it's very James Bond, and it's great. But like Michael Keaton, he's sort of like a recluse, like weirdo. We don't really see much of Kilmer and Clooney's. And obviously, we have Bale's being, you know, again that playboy aspect, and I like Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne, but we don't really see that playboy aspect of the character, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be getting much of that either in Pattinson's version. So yeah, I think it's interesting that the Christian Bale one is the only one to demonstrate that playboy aspect. He's always got, you know, like women hanging off his arms and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's kind of a interesting or a sort of almost important aspect to the character. I feel like it really juxtaposes Bruce and Batman. But this trilogy also likes to make the point that Bruce Wayne is the mask, and his real identity is Batman or whatever. A lot of people hate that, but you know that's sort of the idea with these movies. So, and that I think that sort of like super playboy persona makes it really interesting.
I don't think so. I think it's just kind of mid. I'm
Oh,
kidding.
do you think we should see more of it?
More of the Playboy aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see him with like hot baddies in a jacuzzi with champagne, like it's a 2005 rap video.
Yeah. But I love Lucius Fox's introduction. Of course, the great Morgan Freeman. Do we need to talk about how great Morgan Freeman is? I don't think so. But I love how when Bruce initially goes to Fox about, the sort of like prototype suit. I love how Fox knows that there's something more going on with like Bruce's requests and stuff, but he just plays along and plays
Yeah,
coy about it.
yeah. He just like he's like, oh, okay. Well,
He's like, oh yeah, spelunking, Mr. Wayne. I see what I see. Wink, wink. Yeah, spelunking, whatever. But even when he is more blunt about it later in the movie, he's still not entirely direct.
and
He's like, listen, I know you're doing some fucked shit. Just I'm not stupid. you know?
I don't know like if this is just me because I like don't watch like that much of like Batman content in general, but we don't really see much of Lucius Fox.
Yeah, we don't. We really don't.
Like I mean, they try to do like in the garbage show called Batwoman, where they have like his son, right?
Luke.
Yeah, Luke Fox.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, we don't really see much of Lucius, and like this is like the most amount of time, or this is the most we've seen of Lucius in the the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, we did get because Fox is the tech guy and whatever, he sort of builds everything, and so we didn't have the Affleck's version because him and Alfred did everything on their own, and Pattinson, he's only in year 2, so there's always room down the line for Fox to get introduced. But as of right now, yeah, it doesn't seem like Fox is in that one either.
I don't remember, but like, did they show like did they ever like show or like hint at Alfred being like part of the intelligence
In the Batman
Nolan trilogy
or in the the Nolan trilogy?
In the Nolan trilogy, yeah.
He I think he tells some stories about like being like other countries and shit, but I can't remember if that was because he was special forces or not. Well, I don't think so. But at the very least, he was a very worldly guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
But yeah, I love the prototype suit Batman Batman has. I also kind of forgot there was even a prototype suit. The way I remembered it, I thought he just made a bat suit and did whatever. But he goes to Gordon. I completely forgot about this. He goes to Gordon and he's in his prototype suit. It's not even a bat. He's just a regular fucking mask. And he tries to do his classic disappearing act. And he fucking fails hard as shit. He like Gordon clocks him and he chases him or whatever. And then he falls off a building. I'm like,
he's just hanging there.
He falls off a building. Yeah, he just fucking takes it. But I thought it was fucking hilarious. He tries to do the stupid disappearing thing. It just does not work. But yeah, he goes back to Fox, and then Fox shows him the Tumbler. And as much as I love the Tumbler, there still has not been a Batmobile that actually feels like a Batmobile since Batman 89 and Batman Returns. And it's like the one in the Batman looks great, but it's also like a muscle car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I was reading up about it because like there's actually like a prequel comic to the Batman, and like that car is like a car that like
he worked on since he was a kid or something.
Yeah, but I mean that's a valid complaint though. I mean like a thing.
Yeah,
that like that Keaton has like the most Batmobile out of all the Batmans.
Yeah,
but then again I'm not a big fan. The hype doesn't really concern me for the Nolan trilogy, but I am fucking biased against the Tumbler. That's just
the Tumbler is cool as shit. It's cool.
And like I know like Batfleck had he had a tank like that too, but still it's like I fucking love the Tumbler.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Something about the Tumbler just hits different.
I know. Especially with that theme song hitting, and he's like driving through the streets. Oh my god, it's amazing. But yes, continue.
Yeah, of course. Then after he gets the tumbler, he finally gets an actual like bat suit. The prototype suit did not last long at all. It was like one scene, but we get a great introduction to Batman, and he takes out all those guys, and he gets Falcone, and they pay great homage to Batman '89. And he's like, "Who are you?" but then, you know, Bale has to go, "I'm Batman."
Oh my god!
Swear to me. It's fucking
God, that voice, man. It's just
I was gonna ask.
it.
Yeah, what do you think of Bale's Bat voice?
It's not it, man. Like, you don't have to grunt, and I just don't like it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Should have asked Val Kilmer for some lessons, because he has the best live action Bat voice.
Bale sounds like he. I mean, I assume. I both think it's in my head canon and what I think is actually happening is the cowl is like it's like constricting his constricting his nose, because it sounds like he's like breathing through his mouth, and it sounds like he can't breathe through his nose. That's how he fucking speaks. But also maybe it's just the way the mouth hole is shaped in the cowl, but it always looks like he always looks like he's doing sort of a duck face.
Yeah, there is something with that, you know, the look of the mouth. It looks like it's like rocking like a fake goatee or something.
Yeah, he sounds like he's congested at all times, and he can't breathe through his nose, so he has to like purse his lips forward. Looks like he's always doing a kissy face. It's weird, man. It's hard to take him seriously.
In this one, it's sort of fine, because it's sort of a light, "I'm Batman." But then in The Dark Knight, and especially Rises, it just sounds like a parody of itself.
Especially, definitely in the interrogation scene too for The Dark Knight. It's like, bruh.
But even in Batman Begins, because he gets what's the cop's? I think his name is Flass, and he zips him up on the you know, grappling hook or whatever the fuck it is, and he goes, "Where are the drugs going?" It's like, Jesus. But yeah, it's so hard to take him seriously. It's so hard to take him seriously. But yeah, in the interrogation scene, he's like,
"You're garbage who kills for money."
It's fucking, and then Rises, it's just, he sounds so stupid. He sounds so stupid. But in Batman Begins, it's a bit toned down, and it's a bit better. But yeah, it just gets worse as it goes on.
It's just like, it's also like I'm giving him a pass, because I was like, you know, it's like first time like being Batman, so it's like, okay.
It's still insane to me that Kilmer has the best Bat voice.
I know, right?
Kilmer, of all the Batmans, and of course, I still haven't heard enough of Pattinson, to be honest. It's obviously Bale-esque, but it sounds more like fucking Stephen Amell's Oliver Queen.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a bit close to that, and maybe a little Daredevil in there, and we'll throw that in there too.
We'll see next week. Oh,
next fucking week, man. Next week. That's fucking
next week.
Jesus, less than a week. Fuck, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. I'm gonna spoil everyone. It's gonna be so fun. People are gonna fucking hate me. No. So Bruce finally gets his disappearing act down with Rachel. He's like, and fucking she tells him that thing that he tells her at like the end of the movie or whatever the fuck. Or does he tell her? Does he tell her there?
I think he tells her there. But I'm just say that begins fucking Rachel over.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Do you prefer Katie Holmes or Maggie Gyllenhaal?
Katie Holmes.
So why is that?
Because she's prettier.
Jeez.
I mean, like, it's just something that like I was like used to when I was watching Begins as a kid, and like I was confused whenever I saw Maggie Gyllenhaal. I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then like they were like, "Oh yeah, like, you know, that's Rachel." I was like, "Oh hell no, ain't no way." And apparently she just couldn't make it because of like scheduling conflicts.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't fucking notice the actress change when I saw the Dark Knight for the first time. I was just like, it's Rachel. I never thought about it until it was told to me. It's like, yeah, it's they recast. I was like, what? Yeah, I had no fucking idea. But yeah, I never noticed. But I like how the bat signal is made because Batman just tied Falcone to a spotlight, and they're like, oh. A bat symbol.
Oh,
but and then we cut to like I think he's meeting up with maybe Dent and Rachel and stuff, and they're doing that double dare or whatever, and he just flexes and buys the building just so he can do whatever he wants. Or maybe that's the part where he jumps in the fucking fountain or whatever.
Oh yeah, the fountain, yeah.
But yeah, like, and then we got Scarecrow's introduction, which is just so cool because he just absolutely screws over Falcone, and he sprays him and he puts on the mask, and the fucking god, everything about it is so sick. The mask is sick, the fear effect is sick. It's fucking hilarious. He just walks out and he goes, "Yeah, he's definitely crazy." He's like, fucking great. But yeah, the shot of Crane, because they Batman goes to check
where are the drugs going?
He goes to find the drugs and these stuffed animals in this apartment or whatever, and Crane gets there and Batman hides, and the fucking shot of Crane in the apartment building and Batman just sort of raises lurking from behind. Fucking sick. It's so cool. But I loved also in that scene was how easily Crane just takes Batman out. And he goes, and he has the line, "You look like a man who takes himself too seriously." And I was like, "That's true, Crane. That's true. You're right in the money."
Love Scarecrow being smug as ever.
Yeah, I hope we get another Scarecrow. So much cool shit can be done with him.
Daniel Radcliffe Scarecrow.
Yeah, he'd genuinely be really good. Too bad he's playing Wolverine already.
Nah, it's a rumor.
Nah, it's not a rumor. Taron Egerton is a rumor. He's actually, I don't know if he's rumored either. I just know people like to fan cast him. I don't think.
No.
I could see Taron Egerton. I don't know if I could see Daniel Radcliffe.
Nah, we gotta get Charlie Hunnam as Wolverine.
I could see that too, as long as they don't get Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. I just don't see the Wolverine. I don't.
Not man. We gotta get his twin brother Logan Marshall Green.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys are fucking twins. It blows my mind how fucking close they look alike. It's borderline weird how similar they look.
I was telling my friend like last night. I was like, bro, like that ass. I thought they had gotten Tom Hardy in Spider-Man: Homecoming when we first saw it. I was like, is that Tom Hardy? I was like, oh no, it's not Tom Hardy, but it looks like Tom Hardy. It's fucking insane.
The Walmart Tom Hardy. No, he's great in his own right.
He really is.
But we get to the bit where Rachel sort of goes to see Crane, and then Crane takes her down to the fucking factory where they're making the shit or whatever. And then she's like, what the fuck? And, Batman shows up or whatever and sprays Crane with his fear toxin. And I absolutely adore the nightmare version of Batman that Crane sees.
Yeah, it's like freaking like all dark and he's like spewing like black goo out of his
It's
mouth
so fucking it's so cool. And it's like, low key, take the black goo shit out of it. Batman Beyond?
I know, right?
That could totally be like a Batman Beyond look. But
also, one of the things I like about the most in Batman Begins is how it shows more like Gotham, like how it is in this one.
Yes.
I love it. I love it so much.
And I was gonna talk about that. The Gotham in this looks great. If only it tracked in the next two movies.
I know, right? Yeah, because you don't see you don't see Gotham like that and like fucking.
Yeah, it just looks like a normal fucking city. It looks like Chicago or Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Batman Begins, so like it definitely feels like Gotham. Yeah, I don't know why they changed it. I know technically the bit at the end where it like probably looks the most Gotham-y is in what they call the Narrows, which is supposed to be like the shit part of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's Gotham. Really, the whole city should be like that. Then we get to the police chase against Batman, which is obviously fucking sick. It blows my mind that this shit was fucking 2005. Like 2005, it does not feel like a 2005 movie.
I mean, bro, like Nolan was like ahead of his time. Like,
Absolutely.
Honestly. That's why one of the things I love about Nolan. Speaking of a Nolan movie, I'm actually gonna watch Memento. I'm actually watch it for an assignment.
Really? I still haven't seen it.
I mean, I'll let you know how it is tonight because it's the first movie Nolan directed.
Yep.
And also, it's one of the things that I didn't know until like Thursday is that like his wife like produces like all the movies.
Yeah. Sometimes I think it's his brother is involved.
Yeah. His brother like writes them.
Yeah.
Because like his brother wrote Memento, which is fucking insane to me.
Good shit.
Need to get like them for real. But yeah, definitely Nolan was ahead of his time.
Absolutely. For sure. Yeah. This shit ages so well, just visually. Because I talked about on this podcast before how like it's crazy how the CGI holds up in Iron Man, and that came out in 2008. But like this shit came out in 2005.
Yeah.
But it's obviously because most, if not everything, is done practically.
Yeah, because I think when it hit like maybe 2000, like I'm gonna say 2013, maybe even 2014 is where like people started using more of the visual effects and everything like that. Because back then everything was cheaper to do everything practically.
Yeah, well, it was weird. It's like everything was obviously practical, and there'd be some visual effects here and there. But if there was going to be any VFX, it was going to be maybe like green screen or something. But then there was that weird point in the 90s where everything had to be CG. And it was everything was so shit, and then it moved back to okay, let's dial it back and do things practically, and then there was this nice sweet spot from like 2000 maybe I want to go with 5 because Nolan didn't really start it since he did everything practically. I'm gonna say 2008, like 2008 to like maybe 2012, where there was CGI, but there was still a lot of practical elements. And then after that, they were like, let's CG everything. But luckily, that technology by then was good enough where it's not that bad. But a lot of it has still, maybe aged more poorly than it could have. And now we're finally, again, getting into a place where we're doing a lot of things practically and using CG to enhance those practical effects. But still, practical, mostly. It's just the way to go. More expensive, but it fucking shows.
More expensive and time consuming for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the one thing I hate about like the CGI arguments. Like, why does everything have to be CGI? Why can't it be practical? Like, bro, if everything was practical, like we wouldn't even be getting like all these movies until like 2027. If you want everything to be fucking practical.
Yeah. And again, a lot of times the CGI is so good, if you didn't get like VFX breakdowns, you'd never fucking know it was CG.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why like literally part of me wants them, especially Marvel, to stop showing their like VFX breakdowns and stuff, because it just turns into, oh, there's so much CGI. And it's like, if they didn't show that there were no actual Endgame suits in Endgame, no one would have thought those weren't practical. Except the mask, obviously, because those, come out of their heads. But the actual suits themselves, no one would have known.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah. Where the fuck was I? Oh, yeah. The part where... I love the part where Alfred is putting an unconscious Rachel into the back of a car. And two people are just staring at him like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
I forgot what he says, but he says something. He was like... nice day. Just fucking dips. Like Alfred's getting put on a watch list.
It's not what it looks like.
Yeah, but Bruce Wayne should consider an acting career, because when Ra's infiltrates his party and then he plays off being drunk super quickly and effectively gets everyone the fuck out of the house, I was like, man, that guy he put it on quick. My guy deserves an Oscar. But I completely forgot that Ra's, in a way, was the one responsible for Bruce's parents' murder. I was like, because he was like, you've attacked Gotham before. He was like, yeah, of course. And the Waynes were an issue and shit. So I thought that was really fucking. I was like, oh, I completely forgot about that. That's actually pretty interesting. But yeah, there was. And then we get to the final battle, and like, the final battle is pretty solid. I wish there was a bit more Scarecrow though, because Scarecrow kind of just shows up and then he's taken out, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, he's the main villain, I mean, Ra's is there. I just feel like less focus on Ra's, more focus on Scarecrow is just a more interesting villain in my opinion.
Needed more Ra's al Ghul.
Hell no.
Yes.
Needed a less white Ra's al Ghul. But I love how at the end Fox and Bruce just destroy that old boss. Like, I forgot what his name was, like Ernie or some shit. Started with an E. But yeah, Fox just takes his job. That was fucking satisfying. But then, of course, at the end, we get a great Joker tease. But yeah, I really don't think this movie gets the credit it deserves. Like, it's a great origin movie that doesn't copy what came before while also paying homage. Scarecrow was great. Of course, Cillian Murphy was great. Ra's left a little something to be desired, in my opinion, but it was still solid, of course. And what I noticed coming out of this movie, and what I realized I loved, and I didn't really feel that with The Dark Knight Rises or The Dark Knight, was I felt like there was a perfect balance between the Bruce Wayne content and the Batman content. It really felt balanced and well paced.
Exactly. And like, not to say like, people don't love seeing Batman, but like, kind of like you said, like, it would be nice to have more Bruce Wayne, especially with the Playboy aspect. And like, just seeing like more of Batman in like the other two movies, or like just less Bruce Wayne in general, just kind of like, is something that we crave.
Yeah. But I gave this movie an 8 out of 10. It's really goddamn good. It's obviously not the best one. We'll get to that. But it's definitely not the worst one. It's just a very, very good movie, and I wish more people talked about it.
Yeah, definitely 8 out of 10 as well.
So that's Batman Begins, which means it's time to move on to the best movie ever made, The Dark Knight.
Yeah, awesome.
Best movie ever made, best Batman movie, best superhero movie. Marvel cannot touch this. There's no point. They might as well quit. It's definitely not overrated at all. I don't know why someone would think that. But yeah.
Oh, God damn it.
If you couldn't tell, that was sarcasm. It is overrated as shit. I want to preface that by saying it's still obviously a great fucking movie.
Yeah,
it's a phenomenal movie.
It's a great movie, but is it something to where I would call it a masterpiece? No. Is it something to where the hype, like, certainly consumes my everyday, like, self? No. I definitely think it's a great movie. And by, like, me calling it overrated does not mean that I am trashing the movie or calling Nolan a bad director. I'm just saying the hype does not apply to me. Like, if someone were to be like, what is your favorite, like, superhero movie, comic book movie of all time, I'm gonna say Logan or Into the Spider-Verse. Like, that's just me. Dark Knight's definitely top 3 for sure, but it ain't number 1 on my list.
Yeah, definitely not. But like, it has a great intro, starting with the bank heist, and of course you can see the Spider-Man 3 poster in the back. Great stuff.
Yes, I remember that.
Marvel confirmed in the DC universe, but ever since someone pointed out that guy very obviously didn't get hit by that bus, I've never been able to unsee it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like at the very end. I mean,
at the very end of the bank heist, he was like, so I bet Joker ordered you to kill me too. And Joker was like, no, I kill the bus driver. He was like, bus driver, and he gets hit by the bus. That he does not get hit by. He's feet away, and it's very obvious. And ever since someone pointed that out, I've never been able to unsee him just clearly not get hit by the fucking bus driver. Yeah, and then great intro to the Joker, of course. Of course, the line, whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger shit.
Stranger.
Whew.
Yeah.
Clean as fuck. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger.
Poor bank teller, man.
I know.
He did everything he could.
Yeah, at least he did something. Sad. You hate to see it.
At least he did something.
But we cut to more Scarecrow stuff, doing some dealings or something, I don't know, or whatever. But we got all these fake Batmen using guns. Kind of reminds me of another Batman.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Fake Batman, all of them.
Oh my god. The fucking shade. You fucking menace.
It had to be done. It had to be done.
You goddamn menace, dude. Oh my god.
Of course.
I can't believe you.
I had to do it. I had to. It was right there. And it's true. It's true. You can't say I'm wrong. You can't say I'm wrong. It's accurate. But, of course, this scene is home to the great sequence where Batman's taking all the fake Batmen and he ties them all up. He's like, what makes us different than you? What gives you the right and we can't? He's, of course, Batman goes,
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Not wearing hockey pads.
And it's like, great line, Batman. If only you didn't have that dumbass voice. Yeah, because he has some good one-liners, but I'm like, fuck, I cannot take you seriously. Because even, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to the Dark Knight Rises. He was like, because he says something, or Bane says something to him, how he's going to do something. And then you have my permission to die. So at the end, Batman says the same thing. He was like,
I'm going to do this thing. And then you have my permission to die.
And I'm like, you sound so dumb. You sound so. I'm like, you're trying to be cool, and it's just not working out for you, my guy. It's not happening. But yeah, I wonder, because we get to the courtroom scene with Dent. I wonder how on edge comic book fans were during that trial scene with Dent and Maroni. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, with the fucking the acid and everything.
Yeah. Well, he didn't. He pulled a gun out in this one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he pulled out a gun, but like knowing in the comics,
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, comic fans would have been like, "Oh fuck, this soon? Oh no!" But then, of course, Dent lucks out essentially, and there's that low key kind of corny line where he's like, Maroni, if you're gonna try and kill someone, you got to buy American. It's like, okay, Mike. It's like, okay, guy. Sure.
like okay, buddy.
But Aaron Eckhart, very well cast as Dent. And of course, great performance as Two-Face later. But yeah, he was a great choice.
You'd love to see it.
You'd love to fucking see it.
Also, I think I used a Dark Knight for one of my discussions in class.
Of course you did.
I know, right? It's the only thing I thought of. But like,
let's talk about the Dark Knight. Torrance just there like, fuck.
Yeah, I know. I was like, because I forgot what the discussion was about. But oh yeah, I remember. It was like you have to use like a piece of foreshadowing, and I'm like, I don't know any other film, and I thought of Batman. I was like, okay, I could do Batman, and I was like, man, fuck, I have to use the Dark Knight. Damn it.
Are you talking about The Line?
No, I was talking about I actually use so like pretty much like there's like a term for like when a piece or like something a character has leads into like a discussion a piece of foreshadowing. So what I did was I used Harvey Dent's coin as an example because of him becoming Two-Face.
Because Rachel was like, let me do it, and then I said Two-Face, and Harvey's like, flip a coin.
Yeah, he pulls out a coin. I was like, oh, well, okay.
But I was thinking the line later when he does go on that. This is when the double date happens with Rachel and Bruce and Dent and random woman.
Random woman.
How Dent, says the now very iconic line, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And I'm like, God damn it, Dent, you just sealed your fate, you dumbass. You don't say shit like that in a movie like this. Come on. But, what a phenomenal line. What a great line.
A great line that will be used in countless memes throughout time.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself. And those corny ass fucking Joker Twitter accounts.
Oh my God, yes, dude.
Jesus.
So so corny.
Then of course we get like the sort of second introduction to Joker, and it's still so good. They're all having that meeting, and Spawn is there, and Joker comes in, and he says, I thought my jokes were bad or whatever. And he does the pencil trick, which is great. Ta-da. It's gone. Great stuff. But I don't think I need to explain how goddamn good Heath Ledger's performance is, but it's goddamn good. It's goddamn good. But very shortly after, we get the very first, you want to know how I got these scars? Which is like my favorite scene in the movie. I love it so much. Everything about, even the beginning where he's brought in dead, and he's like, and Gamble's like, all right, that's 500 dead, and Joker just sits on me. He's like, what about alive? Fucking great. And then he makes those two guys kill each other for a spot in his crew or whatever. Fucking great shit. Great stuff. But in my opinion, the next section of the movie, the section of the film where not Bruce, it's actually Fox, or both of them do, but Fox is there for business and Bruce is there for Batman stuff. But when they go to Hong Kong, in my opinion, that's sort of where the film drags. Like, it's not bad, obviously, but I don't know. I don't find it all that entertaining. I don't know what it is about it, but yeah. After that, they really play up Harvey as like the ultimate hero to make his fall all the more tragic. Yeah. Because they really play up like he's the ray of light that Gotham needs and shit like that. They really play it up. But, the homemade video of Joker with that fake Batman, fucking crazy. That shit's fucking crazy. It's like, God damn, Heath Ledger. So it's like you think maybe a performance like that, with a character like that in a world like this, it might come across as ridiculous, but like, God, he's so fucking good. And then Batman comes off more ridiculous when he's talking like that. But yeah, I fucking sometimes, or for whatever reason, when I rewatch this movie, I always forget about the fucking jump scare with the fake Batman hitting the window. And I'm like, it fucking got me again. I was like, God damn it. But yeah, that was fucking, all that was great. Although I do want to bring up the mayor. He's wearing eyeliner, and I don't know why.
Or he's going for a new look. Leave him alone.
No, it's a bad look. And there was like 8 years later, he still has the same goddamn look. It's not a good look. He looks fucking stupid.
Bro, he's rocking a new look, all right?
Gotham would elect a mayor with eyeliner.
No, stop.
But yeah, we pretty much just, after that, go straight to the party at Bruce's penthouse, where there's another phenomenal sequence with the Joker where he, barges in. He's like, where's Harvey Dent? And of course he has you want to know how I got these scars story again with Rachel, which I also love, because if you're watching this for the first time, you might take the first speech at face value, but now at this one, it's like, oh, this guy's a fucking liar. So, his origin is ambiguous and shit like that. And also, just another layer on Heath Ledger's performance, like accent experts have listened to his specific Joker voice, and it adds to it even more, because his accent, it's not a discernible accent. There's apparently some like southern stuff in there. There's obviously like some like New York in there. It's not a accent you can place geographically, so it just adds to the Joker being this ambivalent, ambiguous figure. which is friggin' sick. Heath Ledger, again.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, indeed. But do you find the plot point where Batman finds the fingerprint in the bullet hole?
Mm-hmm.
To me, I sort of see that as a piece of plot, low key, being a little lazily written, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's cool, so who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck are you going to find a fingerprint on a bullet? You know what I mean? And it's it's cool, I guess, but it just seems a little weird. But then we go to the sort of that parade, you know, whatever, with like the military demonstration. And Bruce goes and sees all those like hostages tied up, and he's just Bruce Wayne, and he does the Batman voice as Bruce Wayne, which I thought was fun. I loved seeing Bruce do the Batman voice without the suit. But another one of my favorite moments is seeing Joker without the makeup in the performance. Love that because. And it's weirder because like Heath Ledger, because like obviously everyone knows it's Heath Ledger. I know what Heath Ledger looks like, but for whatever reason, he still looks fucking unrecognizable to me in that makeup.
That's like that. I was exactly thinking that same thing.
Like I cannot see Heath Ledger.
Like, and it's like even like without the makeup off, like in that scene, I was like, this is not Heath Ledger.
Yeah, he still looks like not like him. It's so weird.
It just reminds me of like Colin Farrell as Penguin, like so unrecognizable.
Except even though Colin Farrell is like completely fucking prosthetic out, all Heath Ledger has is fucking fake scars.
Yeah, and
he fucking just looks like someone else. It's so crazy. I think that's just the mark of him being so fucking good. He just becomes a different fucking person. Fucking crazy, but. I also love that sequence because it also leads to it also leads credence to the theory, which I want to get into a little bit, where the Joker is a military guy, how he came from the military and stuff. Like there's that, and there's the speech with Two-Face later. He talks about a truck full of soldiers getting blown up. I really like that theory, but we also get to see, of course, the GOAT. Help me pronounce this man's name. Polka Dot Man.
Yes. Dan Dasmakian. David? I thought his name was Dan.
David. Oh, I mean, maybe he goes by Dan. I don't know.
No, it's probably not.
Dasmakian. Shit. The guy from Ant-Man. It's great to see him, of course, who's been in like every DC thing ever made, it feels like. That man, for whatever reason, is just in DC.
Man's he's the Troy Baker of superhero movies.
True, just in everything. But Batman throwing Maroni off a ledge and breaking his legs is both brutal and hilarious. He's like, you won't kill me. He's like, yeah, but I'm not looking to it. He just throws him off the fucking building and breaks his legs. It was fucking funny. But I remember being so surprised when Harvey outed himself as Batman the first time I watched it. I was like, what? What the fuck is he doing? But before that a little bit, I sort of skipped over when Harvey is just berating guy from Ant-Man over there. And you sort of see Two-Face coming through. Fucking, that was cool too. But I didn't realize when I watched the movie, however many fucking times I've seen this movie, I didn't notice. But like when Harvey's being transported and Joker is going after him, the truck that he's in says laughter on it, but they spray painted an S at the front, so it says slaughter. I don't know how the fuck I didn't pick that up, but you know. Actually, I think it said laughter is the best medicine, so obviously that fucking fits. But yeah, that's awesome. And of course, we get the introduction to the fucking Bat Bike, which is so fucking cool, and it gets even cooler in The Dark Knight Rises. But like the part where he fucking goes up the wall and turns around,
yeah,
cool as shit. And of course, Joker, he's doing like the come on, hit me,
Hit me.
Yeah, I know.
And of course,
The truck tips over.
yeah.
Plot armor.
Yeah, probably. Probably, yeah. And then Gordon saves the day because everyone thought he was dead or whatever. And then Gordon gets the commissioner title. And then, of course, we get the iconic interrogation scene. Just, great shit. Just so good. So good.
Fucking, someone recreated that scene in my cinematography class. It's pretty cool.
Did someone do a Joker impression?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty solid actually.
Oh, all right.
He had the makeup on and everything.
Oh, no shit. Was it good?
Pretty good.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, the interrogation scene is just borderline fucking perfection. But, like, pretty much everything there and onward is just, it's the best parts of the movie. like this is where the movie, like, really fucking, like, gets going. But the fact that Joker, like, gave the opposite address for Harvey and Rachel, cold as fuck. That's
I know.
That's fucking crazy. But Rachel dying and Harvey's face getting just fucking destroyed, I think is a really great alternative to the Two-Face origin. Because obviously they played with it a little bit in the beginning of the movie. But I think if they were going in a different direction, I think this is a really good origin for him. And it always gets praised, but I'm gonna keep praising it because it gets praised for good reasons. For 2008, the Two-Face CGI is fucking nuts.
That's CGI.
It's fucking nuts. CGI.
Didn't even notice it.
Yeah, it looks like when I saw it, I was like, I can't believe they burnt off Aaron Eckhart's face for real. That's crazy. But no, the CGI fucking holds up insanely well. Like, of course, I talked about Iron Man earlier, how it still holds up. This obviously is in that category as well because it looks fucking crazy. But the tension built when Joker orders a hit on that Reese guy who keeps trying his hardest to out Batman was amazingly well done. And then, of course, we go to the hospital where Joker visits Harvey. And how the fuck did Dent not recognize the Joker? It was fucking. He's wearing the mask and he takes the mask off. And Dent's like, "It's the Joker," but he has the makeup on. Fucking ridiculous. But Joker's speech with Dent, I referenced it earlier, but Joker's speech with Dent is so goddamn good. The whole thing about the group of soldiers dying versus the mayor is just fucking great. But you gotta love the bit where Joker blows up the hospital. Another iconic scene.
Unintentional as hell.
Unintentional and improvised.
Yep.
Super cool. Great stuff.
Love to see it.
Yeah, I love the final act to this with
the people on the ship.
Yeah, with the criminals and the citizens on each boat with a detonator to each other's boat. And of course we have the sonar eyes, which is the closest fucking thing we'll get to the white eyes. I don't think they'll ever gonna do it.
Also, Loki reminds me of Detective Mode in the
that too. Yeah, Detective Mode and White Eyes, which we'll never get.
I mean, we're getting a Detective Mode in the Batman, so hyped for it.
True. Still no White Eyes though. Not really.
Okay, we don't need that. We don't need that right now.
Yes, we do. It looks so cool. But yeah, the prisoner on the boat who threw away the detonator, the GOAT. What a legend.
For real.
And of course, the final sequence with Two-Face is also well done. Actually, the final sequence with Two-Face was really good.
Yeah, with him and fucking Gordon and his family and shit. That was pretty cool.
Very well done. And of course, a great final speech from Gordon at the end. He's the hero that Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. But yeah, that's pretty much The Dark Knight. It's a truly great film. And it still is the best Batman movie until the Batman comes out. But that being said, I still think it's overrated. And like, I'll put it like this. This is one of the best superhero movies of all time. But it's not the best movie ever made, like a lot of people act like it is. Like, Heath Ledger's Joker is absolutely magnetic and just chews scenery anytime he's on screen. And anytime he's not on screen, everything else just doesn't feel as entertaining. It's obviously still good, but like anytime Heath Ledger's there, it's just like the film is elevated so much. But, you know, from an objective standpoint, the movie's still fucking great. So it's a 10 out of 10 from me.
Not a 10 out of 10
It's
for
a
me.
10 out of 10. I mean, yeah, you're sort of the mind, like, nothing's perfect kind of.
Perfect. The Dark Knight definitely gives... This is a very unpopular opinion, and I don't want to anger anybody, but it's a 7 out of 10. It's really a 7 out of 10.
Shut the fuck up.
No. The movie itself, I will give it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
9 out of 10. Nothing's perfect. The hype doesn't appeal to me, like I said, but understandable without people, overrating it and just having the biggest like boner for it. If they were to say it's their favorite movie, I'm not gonna disagree. That's cool, because I understand how people will like the movie. But if you're going on and saying it's the best movie of all time, you need to watch more movies, and you probably need to get like checked mentally.
Jesus.
So, yeah, 9 out of 10.
Fair
Probably
enough.
I'm gonna rewatch it after I'm done my homework.
Good. But next, of course, is The Dark Knight Rises, the best movie in the trilogy. No,
Yeah, we love seeing love seeing Bane, right?
Of course, that plane sequence at the beginning is pretty fucking cool. I don't know about you, but I still, just like Heath Ledger, I cannot recognize Tom Hardy at all. I don't. How? I'm like, anytime I really try, I'm trying to visualize the mask not being there and just seeing Tom Hardy's face, and it's just like I'm not seeing Tom Hardy. I don't know who I'm seeing. It's not Tom Hardy though.
Yeah.
But so you too? Am I not just blind?
Yeah, I don't see Tom Hardy as Bane, because it's also one of those things to where it's like you also never really see Tom Hardy take off the mask.
Yeah, you see him in one scene, and it's it's Tom Hardy.
So it's also one of the things where it's it's hard to see Tom Hardy as Bane because he never takes off the mask, and it's just like that. It's also not his voice.
I mean, it is his voice, but it's not his voice.
Yeah, it's not his voice. Yeah.
But speaking of the voice, I don't mind the Bane voice at all. It kind of sucks that it got so much hate.
Yeah, the Bane voice is pretty cool. There's a lot of controversy surrounding Bane in The Dark Knight.
White,
yeah, white Bane.
Not massive.
Not massive. He's not he doesn't have.
Even though he was fucking massive.
I mean, he was massive in Batman and Robin.
No, I mean he was massive in this. I feel like people he's obviously not as massive as comic Bane, but for a guy, he's fucking massive.
Yeah,
Tom Hardy got fucking jacked out of his mind.
He's definitely his most biggest in Batman and Robin.
Venom. Oh, you mean Bane?
No, I was just talking about Bane. Yeah, Bane's his most biggest in Batman and Robin. just because
because it's just more comic accurate technically.
Because the guy who played him was a pro wrestler. He weighed 400 pounds.
Yeah, but I don't mind the voice. I think
he died though.
Yeah, I think Tom Hardy said he was kind of sad because of the hate he got, and I was like, damn, he didn't deserve that hate.
He really didn't.
Although I do have a complaint, and Tom Hardy is incredibly miscast. He's fucking horrible. It should have been comic. No, that's not my complaint. My complaint is that the voice sounds dubbed at all times.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty I isn't there some alternate version where it's not like that and it just sounds better? I'm pretty sure there was something like that.
I have no idea, but
if it was
I would love to see that.
The original audio or something like that. I don't remember. But Yeah, it just sounds like it's dubbed at all time. Like these dudes are yelling on a loud ass plane, and then Bane sounds like he's doing a professional podcast or something. It's like I want, like in my headcanon, like I want to think it's the mask, but then that mask has to have some like crazy ass speakers in it or something. Because they're like, we're gonna throw you off the plane, and Bane's like, nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask, and they're like, what? Nobody cares who I was till I put on the mask. You know what I mean? They'd have to be like, nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask. But you see what I mean with by like Bane's voice being dubbed at all times?
Yeah,
it's kind of weird, but I thought it was crazy how Bane just straight up orders one of his men to stay behind with the plane and die in the wreckage, and the dude was like, he's just chill with it. He was just chill with it. Shows how devoted his followers are. But
I would have been like, hell no, you're on your own.
Fucking out of here. But I completely forgot. Like I completely forgot there was an 8-year time jump from the Dark Knight to the Dark Knight Rises. Like, I was like, what the fuck, 8 years? Jesus. But it's got to be soul crushing for Gordon to like lie to his city for 8 years about, Dent. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Anne Hathaway's casting as Catwoman. Like, she's a great actress, obviously, but I don't know if Catwoman fits her best. I actually think she'd be a damn good Black Cat, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense because they're essentially the same character, but I don't know. I feel like they have different vibes, and Anne Hathaway would be a better Black Cat.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where it's like, I never really cared too much about Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. So it kind of sucks we got robbed out of Zoe Kravitz being Catwoman because she was too urban.
Yeah, but now she's going to be Catwoman.
In the Batman. So
the best Batman movie of all time.
Redemption. Could have just said you're too black. Get out of here.
True.
Because
that's essentially what happened.
Well, because here's the thing. Like I said, I haven't watched that many Christopher Nolan movies, right? Like, I mean, I've seen Interstellar, I've seen the Dark Knight trilogy, I've seen Tenet.
Inception?
I have not seen Inception.
Wow. You've seen Dunkirk?
I have seen Dunkirk. But the thing is that I just feel like it's gonna be hard to say. I don't see that much people of color in Nolan's movies.
Oh, have you seen the cast to his new one?
Really? No, I haven't seen it.
Not a black person in sight.
I thought you was like, man, there's gonna be some people of color in there. Nope.
But technically, I mean, I don't want to give him excuses, but technically he has an excuse because it's based off a program back in the 40s. Fucking, It was white. It was just white people.
Yeah,
sounds more like an excuse just to have a white cast to me.
Yeah, and of course, like I said, like, I'm not saying he doesn't do it at all. I'm just saying
because Tenet.
Yeah, because Tenet. Yeah.
But even then, it's like one black guy.
Yeah.
White people. But,
and then that's kind of the reason why people give like Tom Hardy's Bane like a lot of shit because he's not like the true Bane.
And Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and Liam Neeson as well.
But of course, it's like Marvel's not immune either because you had the shit with the ancient one. Yeah,
Marvel's not immune either. But like I said, that's just kind of like a mini complaint.
And it's getting better.
It is getting better. So.
Yeah, but like after seeing Rogue One and especially Captain Marvel, it's hilarious seeing Ben Mendelsohn in this.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And also, I feel like maybe his American accent isn't all that great yet, but by this point, he's especially this one line, this is really funny where he's about to get like sort of choked out by Catwoman. But he walks out of a room and he goes, "Can we get some girls in here?" The way he says it is fucking. I'm like, he sounds like an Australian doing an American accent. Can we get some girls in here? Just really hard R's. But it's kind of cruel that Selena took Martha's pearls.
It is
not cool at all. And also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in this. He's good in this. That's all.
Yeah,
That's
he's
all.
solid.
More thoughts later. More thoughts at the end about that. They do a really good job. Speaking of Bane, they do a really good job of making Bane look taller than he is. Because Tom Hardy is only 5'9", but he's only 5'9", but he's towering over motherfuckers in this.
Really?
Yes, I'm taller than Tom Hardy, which is weird to think about.
That that is weird. I did not think. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Because now, oh my god, I can't think straight now because I'm overthinking that Tom Hardy's 6 foot.
Yeah, he's
all the time.
He's 5'9".
No way. I'm as tall as Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Well, I have that a lot with celebrities. I always assume that they're either as tall as me or taller than me, because for example, like Tobey Maguire. I've always assumed that guy, maybe not 6 foot, but at least taller than me in some capacity. But he's 5'8". Oh, like, Jesus. It was actually, it's hard to see, but it was put in perspective when they did the No Way Home photo shoots, because, like, Tom Holland is also 5'8", but he looks like a 5'8" guy to me. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'd be, like, taller, or at least as tall as Tom Holland. But in the photo shoots, Toby is just right at the same height as Tom Holland, and I'm like, well, that puts that in perspective. And it looks a little weird, and then you have Andrew Garfield, who's actually 6 foot, just next to them. Which, yeah, but yeah, height with celebrities fucking weird sometimes. Bane is 5'9". I'm taller than Bane, but Bane is fucking hilarious in this. Like, these dudes bring Gordon down in the sewers, and Bane's just like, are you fucking dumb or stupid? And he literally walks up and he just chokes a guy in seconds and just drops him. He's like, now search his body and then I'm gonna kill you. And he's like, okay. I'm like, god damn. And then he looks at the thing in Gordon's jacket, and then Gordon escapes because he like comes to and he escapes, and then he goes up to the guy. He's like, go follow him. He was like, what? How? And then he shoots him and tosses him off the ledge. I'm like, god damn, Bane is fucking hilarious. But yeah, he's way out of pocket in this. Oh, you know what? I know I said thoughts on Joseph Gordon-Levitt at the end, but my god, I forgot that he knew Bruce's Batman just because they're both orphans. like what? Like what? I'm like, you ain't the only are all the orphans in the world? Like, oh, obviously that's Bruce Wayne. Like, how would he even connect? How would he see Batman and be like, that guy must be an orphan? Like, what? Like, he explains it, but the explanation doesn't even make any sense. It's so fucking weird. Like, this is really the first time in the movie where I'm like, huh? What? But yeah, like, okay. Also, and then it continues because it's like, what's with Bruce's injuries? Because he has like a cane and shit, and it's like, I'd want to say it's from his time, doing Batman stuff, but there's an 8-year time jump. I mean, I'm like, sure, there could be some like residual damage, but I mean, the man is using like a cane, and I thought it was just for show, but like, he's using it like he actually needs it. Like, maybe there's psychological injuries, but that doesn't make sense either, because then he uses like a leg brace, which like corrects his bones or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, huh? Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was weird too. Unless, like, maybe he was doing, like, since there's an 8-year time jump, maybe he was doing some Batmaning in between and he fucked up his leg or something. But they also imply that he stopped after The Dark Knight. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense. But at this point in the movie, when I think Bane is like or robbing like the stock market or whatever, that stock exchange place, and I kind of for a little glimpse, just a little sliver, I saw Tom Hardy in the Bane thing. It was something about his walk. Like, I think it's just the way I've seen him walking, like in Venom.
Yeah, because Tom Hardy's walk looks like he has like some swagger to it.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh fuck, that looked like Tom Hardy for a second, and I saw it. I saw it for a second, and I was like, I see him now. It's Tom Hardy.
He was right there all along. I just couldn't see it.
Yeah, for some reason, I can clock Tom Hardy's walk. Yeah. And of course, they all escape, and then I'm not gonna lie, Batman's entrance in this kind of gave me chills. Also, fuck this cop guy going after Batman rather than the motherfuckers who were literally taking people hostage. They're like, no, we got to get the Batman guy. It's fucking ridiculous. But there was that fight scene on the roof with Catwoman, which was just sort of proof to me that Nolan is just not good with hand-to-hand combat fighting scenes. It's just not good. And there was some of it in The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, but he hit it by, there was a lot of close-up and cuts and a little bit of shaky cam, and they were doing a lot more wide fighting shots in this, and it was just not great. But it is what it is.
You were like, this is ass.
Yeah. But yeah, and then like after that he like starts talking to Catwoman, and for some reason in this scene in particular I really was just like, man, this dude's voice is fucked, because like Catwoman does that disappearing act on Batman, and he goes,
oh, so that's how it feels.
I was like, what the fuck? I can't with this man's voice. But yeah, Alfred then after this leaves, which is tough, but I can't blame the guy. I would have, if I was him, I would have left a long fucking time ago. Like, this guy's like gonna get himself killed. I'm like, you know what, I can't deal with this.
It hurts my heart, hurts my soul. Yeah.
But then, Alfred goes on that little speech where he's like, the 8 years you were gone or whatever, or the 5 years you were gone were in Batman Begins. He was like, I hoped every day that you wouldn't come back. And I was like, damn, Alfred, shit.
God damn.
He's like, fuck you. But no, he obviously had a different reasoning behind him, and I thought that line was fucking funny. And it's like, I know you're not supposed to know Miranda is Talia al Ghul, but I'm over here fucking screaming at the fucking TV when Bruce gives the entire fucking company to Talia. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you don't know, but you should fucking know. Stop it. Jesus.
Man's a big simp.
Massive simp. And of course, then after that, there's the first fight between Bane and Batman, which is great. Breaks the man's back. And of course, you get
homage to the comics.
Oh, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
So
great stuff.
When I first watched the film, remember when like fucking he like fucking beats beats his fucking helmet and shit.
Yeah, breaks it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he bashed like his head in. Like, geez. And so I'm like, what the fuck? Like that shit hurt me as a kid, because I don't want Batman to fucking die. Like, I love Batman. And then I rewatched it, I was like, oh, he just broke his helmet. Thank fucking God. Like, dude. Yeah, I thought Bane just fucking put a dent in his head. And until I saw the crack, and I was like, oh God.
Yeah, that's gonna be fucking scary.
Because even the sound effects too, it's like do, and then I'm like, ah! I was fucking screaming, dude. Oh my God,
mommy, they killed Batman.
Yeah. And I was like, man,
why they got to do him like that? But it really annoys me that they took, because Gordon is hospitalized. And it really annoys me that they essentially took Gordon out from doing the leg work in this and essentially replaced him with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah,
I'm like, was that necessary? I thought that was weird, but I remember back in 2011 or 2012 or whatever, them marketing the stadium explosion hard as fuck, and for good reason. That shit is sick, but they really marketed that stadium explosion, the floor sinking. Sick shot, but they marketed that shit hard. But yeah, the stakes, I don't know if you'd agree, tell me if you do, but the stakes to this movie are like insanely higher than the other two, but for whatever reason I just was not as interested. I'm like, this should feel like, oh fuck, what is he gonna do? But I'm just like, like, it just, I don't know,
it's just like one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it has to do anything with the storylines, because I heard a complaint about The Dark Knight Rises and how like it's not their favorite movie, or they don't like it as much as the other two because of the fact that the storylines like just don't like end well. So I don't know that that's like part of the reason for it, but also in terms of like the stakes and the story, I can agree with you on that. Just like, eh. I mean, of course, because it's also one of the things where it's like it's Batman, he has to win, so like he always automatically has like kind of plot armor.
Yeah.
Because like one of the things where like he they explain how like his back wasn't necessarily like broken, it's just like a vertebrae. It kind of just like
yeah, but then you gotta like specify that. Everyone's just gonna assume because comics and shit.
Yeah.
Because like ain't no way my guy's back was fixed that quick. Like it was a 3-month
exactly,
break, I think.
Exactly.
But yeah, ain't no goddamn way.
Plot armor.
Yeah, it's like I don't like for universe that's meant to be super grounded. I think some of the ridiculous stuff like that makes it feel more out of place. But but maybe because all this stuff happens in the pit or whatever. Which I assume is that supposed to be sort of like an allegory for the Lazarus Pit?
Yes,
because it is. Because even when someone said like, you go in and you come out a different person or whatever, and I was like, that's Lazarus Pit. But yeah, so he gets out, and maybe I'm stupid, but how did Bruce get back to the island? How did Bruce get back to Gotham? Because it's already taken over. They have all the bridges destroyed. You can't go on the ice because you'll fall through.
I know. I'm teleported.
Oh, I see.
I'm just kidding.
And it's like I think someone said a line like maybe it was the plane, but like where even was the fucking plane? I don't know. But then how would he even get into the? It doesn't make it. Whatever. Another one of the things where I was like, huh? What? But then it's pretty much at this point it's just a bunch of huh moments because like dude really took the fucking time. So he comes back and he has the bat suit or whatever, and he goes to save the commissioner and stuff. Dude really took the goddamn time to make the bat symbol on the bridge out of like oil, fire, and shit. I was like, there are people dying. What are you doing? You're just doing an arts and crafts project for a second. Like what? What are you doing? But then so Bane fucks up Batman. Batman lives in a hole for a few months, and all of a sudden he outstrengths Bane, and he just now realizes that he can easily take him out by going after his mask. Like, just shit ain't adding up. You know what I mean? And like, I'm sure the Talia reveal is supposed to be this crazy thing, and obviously I've seen it before. But like, even with other movies where there's twists, and there's a twist, and what the twist is, and where it is, like, I feel like you should still feel something. And with this, I just don't feel anything, But, yeah. Just a bunch of moments back to back to back. Just making no sense. But, before I get into a bit of a rant, I'm just saying it again, that bat bike, fucking sick. So cool. The way the wheels just flip over.
Yes.
My god. that shit's so cool. But yeah, here we go. My biggest issue with this movie. Like, I'm gonna take a sip of water before I do it.
Oh god.
How in the goddamn world did Bruce escape from that goddamn nuke? I thought maybe it could be explained because Fox said towards the beginning of the movie, that there's no autopilot, but maybe Bruce could fix it. Right? So I was like, maybe Bruce fixed it. That would make sense. But then right at the end, when he's about to leave to take it over the ocean, he says there's no autopilot. And right before it explodes, it shows a shot of Bruce in the plane. And it can't even be explained that he got out right before it exploded and like went in the water or whatever, because the bomb has a blast radius of 6 miles. 6 miles. There's no way in hell that he got out and somehow swam away 6 miles away, and it could have been like below the water because the heat would have fucking boiled him alive. It makes no fucking like I would really try to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it makes no sense. Do you have an explanation? Do you have an explanation for me?
I do. It's literally okay. So it's because in the script, right? Because I actually looked up the script online, and it's because of plot armor.
God damn it. God damn it. But fair enough. But yeah, now for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. What the fuck is this Robin reveal? I actually think Joseph Gordon-Levitt would actually make a pretty good Nightwing, but
Yeah.
why in the actual fuck is his real name Robin? Like, you couldn't just name him Dick Grayson, or at the very least, like Richard Grayson, or some variation, something like that. Something.
Yeah.
What the fuck is he gonna do?
Great.
Fight crime with his real name? Like, I know it's implied that he's gonna be Batman. But Jesus, it's so dumb. So dumb. And I actually think, I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it was reported that the reason that they didn't do that is because they didn't think audiences would know the name Dick Grayson.
Oh my.
So they were like, let's name him Robin.
Okay. So which name change do you think was the most dumb? Barbara Wilson or Robin?
Ooh, oh man, the dumb. I'm gonna say Robin, because at least with Barbara, her relation to Alfred served the story in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And Robin is just like, let's name him Robin just cause, haha, reference, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely, yeah, probably Robin. But, you know, even after ranting like a madman, I think this movie is relatively solid, but it doesn't hold a candle compared to the other two. It has
it's not a bad movie, but I definitely think it is a tad bit overhated.
Yeah, maybe a little. But yeah,
So,
there's definitely some dumb moments. But yeah, it's a pretty solid plot until the end. And obviously it's well made. It's a Christopher Nolan movie, but the stakes just don't feel that grand, and the villains are weak, and the twist is lackluster. Like, the action is pretty good other than the hand-to-hand stuff. Catwoman was all right, but didn't really feel like she added anything. Like, we barely talked about any plot points with Catwoman because it was just kind of there. But I don't know. Maybe it feels worse because you would expect more out of the people behind The Dark Knight. But yeah, it's a 6 out of 10 from me.
6.5 out of 10.
Fair enough.
Maybe pushing a 7 because of Bane.
Also fair. Yeah, I didn't ask. What do you think of the Batman's suit, like, as a whole in the trilogy?
I think it's fine. Definitely like the armored Batman a little bit. I know there's a lot more criticism coming for it now.
Yeah.
How people don't like the armored Batman because Batman's supposed to be like a ninja.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's just like one of those things where like it does make sense, but it's also like one of the things where like in context, like Batman is going up against like villains who fucking punch like holes in walls and shit, and like
why is he gonna
be wearing like skin tight armor because he's a ninja? I mean, even so, like, yeah, he's a ninja because it's like, of course, he was taught by the League of Shadows, but him having armor doesn't like change anything. It's just, of course, giving him more protection.
Yeah, in hindsight, I think it's a little overly tactical. But it's sort of really never been my favorite suit. I've never liked the mouth hole. I think it's too small. The bat ears are just ever so too short. That one's a little bit of a nitpick, but I think they're just barely too short. Yeah, I don't like the tactical nature of it. I don't like the cape. How it's like it's like a cloth, but it's like a darker black than the rest of the suit. It's weird, but it's obviously not bad. It's still good.
Fucking, I think like the best cows are Kilmer and Batfleck.
I think Affleck's is too small too.
Nah,
the mouth
I mean,
area.
I think we're going. I mean, I'm talking like for the ears. His ears.
Oh,
are
for
perfect.
the ears. Oh yeah, like the whole Keaton, Kilmer, all their ears are like pretty on point.
Yeah.
Affleck's are on point as far as the Dark Knight Returns look goes. But yeah, that's the Dark Knight trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Dark Knight trilogy. Overall, solid trilogy, but overrated.
Solid, yeah.
Overrated, mainly because of the Dark Knight. Eddie, you bring up the Dark Knight trilogy. Everyone's going to talk about the Dark Knight, yeah, and everyone's going to be like, Rises, and people don't give Begins its flowers. So, is what it is. But yeah, is that the show?
It is a show.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the Avengenerds podcast. If you want to follow us, we're at Avengenerds on Twitter. That's Avenge Nerds, all one word. If you want to follow either one of us, you can reach me at @HidZenith_ on Twitter. Where can they reach you?
Reach me at Torrentina on Twitter.
All right, awesome. Well, we have a Discord if you'd like to join the conversation there. Those will be linked in the show notes. You can also check out our link tree for any additional links you may be interested in. You can also review the show in-app on Apple Podcasts. If you could leave 5 stars in a review, it would really help us out. Thanks again for listening to the Avengers podcast. We'll see you next week with the frickin' Batman.
Later.